We go to Washington.
We don't give a fuck.
One of the worst vice presidents in the history of the United States.
We have the ability to see what can be.
And failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris,
unburdened by what has been,
who got smoked by Donald Trump, by the way,
Is what it is
teasing about running in 2028.
What?
Say it isn't so. I'm Josh Bergonzo on this. Please, 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 please.
You serious?
But it's what's next.
The game has just begun.
What's up, everyone? Jazz Bergonzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today. Happy Tuesday. Well, Kamala Harris. When was the last time that name was uttered past anyone's lips? Could that have been the night of the election, 2024, where basically she thought that maybe, just maybe, after blowing interview after interview after interview, sounding like a drunken lush, and not knowing where the hell I am, and being the worst vice president this country's ever seen, I might, just might, have a shot at being the Donald in the election. Well, of course, we all saw what happened after that. Donald Trump won by a landslide, won by mandate, and of course, right afterwards, we saw her hung over multiple times. Anyway, but what is she doing now? It's been several months since the election. Let's see, she wrote a book that no one gave up about. Didn't know, one, she didn't know how to read, and two, we didn't know she had to write. She knew how to write. But anyway, in a recent interview, she was asked for 2028, is there a possibility of you running for the Democratic nomination for president of the United States once again, even though you got your ass smoked like a blunt by one Donald Trump? And more than likely, you would face up against J.D. Vance and get smoked again. Well, her answers are interesting. This coming from Breitbart. Kamala Harris, I'm not done and may run again in 28. What? Former President Kamala Harris told a BBC show this past weekend that she may run for the presidency again in 28. Oh, please, please. I'm not done. I've lived my entire career as a life of service, and it's in my bones, she told a BBC interview to be aired this past weekend. In keeping with the possibility of another try at the presidency, Harris dismissed polls that put her as a also ran behind Governor Gavin Newsom as the Democrat nominee in the next presidential election. Quote, if I listen to polls, I would not run for my first office or my second office, and I tell you, wouldn't be sitting here, she told the network. But the fact of the matter is that you ran for president the first time, you got smoked in 2020. You decided to run again, got smoked in 24. You were the DEI vice president, but you continue. Newsweek reported a few of the latest surveys. A political center and possibility lab survey conducted between July 31st and August 11th puts California Governor Gavin Newsom ahead 25% among Democrats and independents compared to Harris's just 19. Analysis on Friday by pollster Lashira Jane? Oh, okay. Shows that Harris has one of the highest unfavorability ratings among senior Democrats, with 54% saying that they have a somewhat or very unfavorable view of her. I'm kind of surprised it's not 90 at this point. In an interview, Harris replayed her 24 campaign message criticizing President Donald Trump as an authoritarian, adding some new shots based on his 10 months in office. She brought up the suspension of the late-night host Jimmy Kimmel for lying about Charlie Kirk's murder, placing the host's layoff at Trump's feet. Though no evidence has emerged to date, still to this very day, that the president has any involvement in ABC's decision to suspend him. It turns out that, his ratings were crappy. That's the reason why he got kicked off and the reason why he got brought back on. Quote, you look what happened in terms of how he was weaponized, for example. Federal agencies going around political satirists. She told Sunday Show. His skin is so thin that he would endure criticism for a joke and attempt to shut down an entire media organization in the process. The balls. He said he would weaponize the Department of Justice, he also claimed, and he has done exactly that. You mean like your former boss, Dementia Joe? You know, Mar-a-Lago? No, he will never do that. Harris also slammed business leaders and others too easily supporting Trump and agreeing to his wishes. She told the network, "There are many that have capitulated since day one who are bending a knee at the foot of a tyrant. I believe for many reasons, including that they want to be next in power because they want to perhaps have a merger approved or avoid some investigation." When the BBC network asked for a response to Harris's comments about the president, a White House spokesman dismissed the former president's remarks. Quote, "When Kamala Harris lost an election in a landslide, she should have taken the hint. The American people don't care about her or her absurd lies," spokeswoman Abigail Jackson told the network. Well, she was just being factual. Or maybe she did this to take a hint, and that's why she's continuing to air her grievances on foreign publications. To foreign publications. Well, like I said in the beginning, please, sweetie, darling, pumpkin, you want to run? Please run. Please run again. Please. That you're, that you're, and I'm not done yet. I'm ready to run in 28. Why? You're a buffoon, a moron, a cretin, an idiot, the worst vice president this country has ever produced. You sat there drinking bottle after bottle after JD after you got smoked by Donald Trump. Imagine what JD Vance would do to you. And anyway, you won't even get picked. It'll be Gavin Newsom. We have a new knucklehead. The worst California governor ever. A governor who has destroyed that state. You look at the last 10 years, has wokeified, has DEI'd the state to the point where nobody gives a fuck anymore about California. Remember, there was a point where whatever California did, the rest of the country would follow. Many moons ago. But no, that's no longer the case. Anytime California does something stupid, the rest of the country goes, hey, wait a minute now. We don't want to go that route. So let's make it very clear. You want to run? Sure, you can run. You want to get smoked like a blunt? Sure, you'll get smoked like a blunt. You want to keep Jack Daniels in business? You are more than welcome to, and I'm sure you have plenty of bottles at home. But why do you think you were sent down to the border by your boss, Joe Dementia? Why do you think you were sent to Ukraine? Because you were so experienced in foreign affairs? Because you have all this ability that no one knew? Or were you just sent there to just say, you know what? I'm just going to give her, things to go this way. I'm just going to send you to these different places, because we don't want to deal with your dumb ass. And this is coming from a dementia-riddled president who is a dumbass. And you ever asked yourself why you were ever chosen to be VP in the first place? Was it your experience? Was it your law degrees? Or was it just because you were another DEI hire? I'm going to go with the latter, but that's just me. So you want to run? Please do, because we can welcome the laughs. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace.